Hi, this is Lady Lex UK. Now, this is a tutorial for a specific person. This is for Colourful Bat. He's asked, he wants to put in a idle animation in this Catwoman model, and he's having all sorts of difficulties. So I thought I'd try help him out by creating a little bit of code for him. Now, this should work for all puppets, but this Catwoman puppet was made during early access using the older version of our mannequin model, so it may you may need to tweak it a little for the newer model. I don't know, it should work, but there might be something within the new model that I'm not aware of that might interfere with this. So just a disclaimer here that I've only built this for this particular model, so I can only guarantee it will work in this particular model, but for most, I think it should work for all of them. But just to cover myself here, and people say I tried it and it didn't work. Right, okay. So what have I done? I've put this in the controller logic, but I mean, you can put this anywhere in its own microchip. You can put it here if you wanted. It doesn't connect with the controller at all. I just happened to build it here, so you can put it anywhere you like. I did start looking at the Puppet interface because the Puppet interface has an indicator for idle here, and I thought that would be the ideal thing to use. But I had some difficulty in that this particular mechanism, the idle animation never kicked in again if you jumped. So it's okay for moving, but it wasn't okay if you jumped. It didn't record a jump as breaking out of idle for some reason. It was just a bit odd, and it would stop the timer and then not start again once you'd stop moving. So I had to scrap that idea using the movement strength and the idle strength to actually make my idle animation. So there you go. So I went back to the trusty movement sensor, so I've popped that in. So this is how this works. I have a movement sensor. This is going to detect whether or not my puppet is moving, and it's looking for velocity overall, so any movement whatsoever. And I've got two wires coming out of that. One of them goes into a calculator. This is looking to see if the velocity is 0, so it equals 0. And this one is just going straight out into this counter, which is resetting, and the calculator is going into the increase count on this counter. So this counter is acting as a switch and turning on our timer. So if the calculator set is 0, so if we're not moving, that sets this off. So this is the counter fault, is setting this timer off. So what it's doing is it's starting the timer, it's making sure the timer is starting at 0, so it resets the timer, and it's powering on this timer, so it's working. When this timer gets to its end, so the timer finished, we want to send a signal to our keyframe to activate. Now, do not be tempted to use this one, timer finished pulse. You don't want that one. You want timer finished signal. This isn't one that's indicated on the side by default. You have to go in and pick it from the list down the bottom here. So you wire it from there, and then you go into your keyframe. Now, my keyframe in this instance, I've got her so she sits down, and I have put a little slow power up on her sitting down, and that's all I need to do. Now, I don't recommend putting a slow power up on a sitting move like this, because what tends to happen is she starts moving and she's still sort of in this position. And so she sort of does this little waddly thing, which looks really bad. So just have it popping straight up as soon as it comes out of the keyframe, rather than having a slow rise. You can make this a timeline. Have that as play once for any timeline animations. If you've got complicated animation with multiple keyframes, then you'll need a play once on that. And you may want to have it reset once it's played. So the trouble with that, of course, for a long keyframe is that she's going to pop up and down when she gets to the end. So it's not ideal. A single keyframe is probably better for your idle, but other people have worked out a circular idle animation that looks good as it runs in a loop. So you can put it on a loop instead of a play once. That should work fine. Right, there we go then. So that's all it does. Let me put it into. Let me pin this to the screen and go into test mode so you can see. Right, so at the moment we're not moving, and you can see the timer is running. I've got it set to 10 seconds, and when it hits 10 seconds, she sits down. Okay, so if I start moving, okay, she stood up straight away, and you'll notice that timer is not on, nothing is happening. If I stop, the timer starts. If I start again, everything turns off. The timer is still set at like 2/4 of the way, but if I stop, it resets. So, and the timer starts again. There we go. So that is an idle animation with a pause before it happens to your liking. You can put any time in there that you like, and there she goes into her idle. And back up we come. There you go. I hope that helps you, Colourful Bat. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in your dreams.